Hi friends, it's October 11th, the day before the last day of the course. Some of you are saying, whew, glad this is over with. I understand. It's been a long 8 weeks and some of you didn't really choose this program. It chose you and you're doing your best to keep your motivation high, to keep things relevant, and I can see it inside of your work. I want to convey my admiration for you and just carrying the water as you have done. Now, 3 things we want to attend to as we're wrapping up the course. 1, today's October the 11th, 2 items are due. Look at the syllabus and all of the instructions that relate to the Reflect weeks. It would be 2 items. Every Reflect week we had a journal note to make. I supplied that space inside of each of the modules. You're to upload your responses. There should be 4 of them. In addition, you are to upload your Salvation Army Learning Priority forms. There should be 4 of them. They're part of the Reflect Weeks, and I've provided them each of those modules. Someone contacted me yesterday to say, now what exactly is a Salvation Army Learning Priority form? Sort of frightened me a little bit to be in the last week of class and someone asks me, what is that form? It's the notes and quotes questions form. When I said that to her, she was like, oh my gosh, well of course, I've been doing that every week, so no problem there. But I just want to make sure we're all clear on what I'm asking for. That's that form that has about 12 items on the left-hand side, things like discipline and management, and there's all these sort of phrases that the Salvation Army provided to Asbury University and said that our courses should be relevant to this. I provided note spaces so that you could read the book through the lens of the Salvation Army, and if you have notes inside of those spaces, it will show that the course is relevant to that. So those are the 2 items that need to be uploaded by midnight. The 3rd item relates to grade reconciliation. Some of you are in a category that I would call irregulars. You had an excused absence, you were ill, something didn't get submitted on time. There's something about your situation where you've sent an email to me and I said, well, I will settle that before the end of the class. I'll reconcile that, I'll take a look at that. If I've made that promise to you, then I intend to do that. But I want to say a second thing. Some of you may have interpreted the syllabus or your assignments or something in some particular way that when you saw your grades or your performance, it surprised you. You're like, hey, I did the work, but this doesn't make sense in light of I did what he asked. If you're in that sort of situation, first of all, make sure you understood what I asked. Go read the syllabus before you contact me. But send me a note and say, hey, Dr. West, could you take a look at this item? It seems like the grade is off, or I feel like I did everything, but I didn't get an improvement. Again, if I've already told you I'm going to do that, I know you're there, you don't have to send a message. But if there's anyone out there in quiet desperation wondering if justice will be done on your behalf, make me aware of it. Send me a fairly brief note, make sure it's concrete, point out in the syllabus what we're talking about, but don't leave me guessing as to what the actual issue is, what the problem is. I can't participate that way. But I'm willing to look at things. Just send me a note in that respect and we'll get into that sort of thing. And let me tell you a little story. It was my 2nd year of grad school. I lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and I lived inside of a space called Teen Challenge. I was the Dean of Men for a group of troubled teens that this organization served. There was one night that a fellow came to me, a 17-year-old came to me and said, hey, Mr. West, how about a game of chess? When he had knocked on my door, my thought was, oh no, one of the boys wants something or needs something. And all I could think of was the book of Mark, chapter 2, I believe I was working on for Dr. Holman the next morning. I had to be at an 8:30 class, and the exegesis on the 2nd chapter of the book of Mark had to be completed by that time. And anyone knows how to do principles of Bible study, you can't cram observations, interpretations, and applications. So my choice was, do I play chess with the boy or do I do my book of Mark homework for principles of Bible study for Dr. Holman? I played chess that night. When the game was over and the boys had gone to bed, I got back to the book of Mark, but I fell asleep in the midst of my work. Some of you can relate to that. tried to wake up early and get as much as I've done, but I was cramming. It was an anxious feeling. And I remember driving my little Nissan pickup truck from central Norfolk into Virginia Beach where the campus was at. And as I was taking the exit, I just remembered this angry feeling. It's like, God, why? How am I supposed to do this? And I heard, not with audible voice, but with a sense of approval that conveyed something like, I may get a B on the paper, on the project, but it appears I have the values of someone who wants to make an A in life. Now you need to sort that out with me. Making an A, or excellence, in all of your categories of life may sometimes require you to get a B in other parts of your life. And I remember making a decision that day, before I even finished coming off of that exit, that when the choices came down to making an A in life versus an A in academics and shortchange life or some other area of performance, I'd like to be known as the kind of person that goes for life, that chooses well, that would be on a path to finishing well. The game of chess with the boy can have an internal imprint. The grade's the grade. And as some of you are trying to make peace with how you have done and how academics works inside of your life, know that I have that perspective still, that adults are doing what's important to them all the time. And I'm an adult and I've got to do what's important to me too, and most of it's indicated inside of the syllabus. But adults are doing what's important to them. They're trying to get A's in life. And this academic process is a subset of all that you're doing. You'd love to get an A here too. But I want to encourage you to continue to be the people that step into this struggle to decide where you're going to show up and invest excellence, and where you're going to manage negative excellence, the B's in life, that sort of thing. My general impression of this class is, particularly if you've uploaded everything I've asked for October 11th, and if you can demonstrate your learning inside of the October 12th final assignment, I don't think anybody in this class really needs to be concerned that much about their grade, where it's going to end up in terms of the kind of performance that we're looking for. Now, make sure that you've got that part right. But more importantly, I want you to be the finish well kinds of people who said, I approve of the approach that I've taken to my work. I've studied to show myself approve. Workmen and workwomen that need not be ashamed, that knows how God's work is working life into them and through their lives.